Spooktacular Stroll, CNY's not-so-scary Halloween experience for the family, is back. Walk through the half-mile trail in the Bewitched Woods at Long Branch Park in Liverpool every Thursday through Sunday in October from 5 to 9 p.m. Pack the car full of your little goblins. Admission is by the carload. Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital's Spooktacular Stroll is presented by Upstate Honda Dealers. Get your pre-sale tickets today at spooktacularstroll.com.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome into the Sports Media Center for Newhouse Afternoon on this fine Thursday afternoon. ESPN Radio 97.7 Syracuse. I'm Milo Hoffman with Drew Alba here, and wow, it's game day. It is game day.
Game day, Milo. We're only a few hours away from kickoff, a huge game against Pitt. They're 6-0. Syracuse is 5-1. It's sure to be fireworks over there in Pittsburgh.
You can make the argument this is the biggest game for Syracuse in a long time.
I don't think it's an argument. I really don't.
It's not.
I mean, this is the best Syracuse football team in, quite a few years. Yeah. On the other end, Pitt, yeah, they were good with Kenny Pickett a few years ago. I mean, but they were god-awful last year. I mean, look, a year ago, this team played, and Syracuse had, 20 passing yards in Yankee Stadium in a game where it was the Dan Villari show. Now, fast forward a year later, and both teams, completely different. Both teams are playing for something so much greater than just a bowl game.
You talked about playing for something. These teams have been playing each other for a long time. This is the 80th matchup between these two teams. That's ridiculous. They've played 80 times. So at some point, you got to be like, this is a team that I want to go out there and beat. Pitt is a team that Syracuse has played the most out of any other program ever. So it's the biggest game of the year. Mm-hmm. This game has been this matchup is a storied past for these two squads. And it's almost like this, is this a rivalry?
I don't know, Milo. It's closing in on a rivalry if it's not. And these are the types of games, Milo, that you look back on in 20 years and say, that's what restarted the rivalry. That's what revived the rivalry. Thursday night, I mean, the implications for both of these two teams is massive. Pitt loses, they're all of a sudden 6-1. They're outside the top 25. Syracuse wins, they're in the top 25, and they are controlling their own destiny to get to the ACC championship. We'll have to see. But is this a rivalry? Right now, I'm leaning no, but I could definitely have my opinion persuaded in a few hours.
I don't know. I think you could go either way. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious what the players think too, and Fran Brown. Is this a rivalry or not? I don't know. Let's take a listen as to what the head man of Syracuse football has to say about this matchup.
I'm not sure if this is a rivalry game. I just know that we're going to go play them. They're a good football team.
That's just Fran Brown's mindset.
Is very interesting. Every team is a rivalry, but also there's no rivalry games. That's interesting.
He said it's not a rivalry, but then I'm not sure if this is a rivalry. He's going back on his statement because later in that press conference he brought up the fact that this is the 80th game.
True,
so it kind of has to be a rivalry.
That's true. I mean, to be fair, he was in Georgia last year, probably barely knew the Syracuse Pitt thing was even a thing before coming up here to the 315. But now he's here, and I think after tonight, he's going to realize just how much of a quote-unquote rivalry this game really is. So obviously this is a huge game, Milo, from the storied past, 80 years of history,
80 games.
Yes, 80 games.
1916 was the first time.
Yes, over 100 years of history.
Over 100 years.
Yes, but it's a huge game for this year as well.
Oh.
Absolutely massive. We've mentioned it once. We'll say it again. Implications for both sides. What are they, Milo?
If Syracuse wins this game, they're ranked. Yeah. If Syracuse wins this football game, Syracuse could almost switch places with Pitt, in my opinion. You win, you're somewhere around that 19, 20, 21 range, in my opinion.
No, that's a great point.
Syracuse has been wanting to be ranked for the entire year, and you can make the argument that they would be ranked right now if they hadn't lost to Stanford.
Yeah.
So they are lucky that the opportunity has presented itself yet again for them to be ranked in this season And it's a season that has such high hope for the Orange. It's about time they find themselves in the top 25. You got to go into Pittsburgh. If you win, you're ranked. That's the mindset.
Yeah, and Pitt is favored in this game, Milo. It's about 70% on ESPN right now. I don't think they should be. I really don't.
I like it. I like it for Syracuse.
Yeah, sure. Underrate us.
That's what SU's built off of.
For sure. I think Syracuse is a better team than Pitt is right now. Look, Pitt's 6-0. Give them their flowers, for sure, right? Give them their flowers. They've been really good this year. But against all 4 Power 4 conference opponents this year, they've been trailing in the fourth quarter or later every single game. Their average win differential, just 4 points in those 4 games against Power 4 teams. They're just coming off a game against Cal where they didn't score in the second half. I mean,
it's been rocky.
It's been rocky for Pitt. This is not a team that has just kind of cruised, to put on the AC, put the jams going. You're on the highway, set to 65 miles per hour, sit back and relax. No, sir. There's been traffic all over the place. They've had to swerve left and right. Once again, to their credit, not taking anything away, they've got the wins. But Pitt has not looked unbeatable. Not at all.
Someone on the Pitt team, though, that has looked pretty good and is a huge reason that they're 6-0 is the quarterback. Now, let's get into a little bit of the X and O's here. You got the quarterback play. This is a matchup, or the quarterback play is a position on the field that all eyes should be on tonight. You got Cal McCord, one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now. And you got Eli Holstein, who's also up there for Pitt. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country and definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC at least.
Yeah.
They're also the same exact frame. What are they, like 6'2", 225 or something?
220.
6'4", 220. You're looking at the same guy.
Yeah, well, there's one difference. Look at the physical stature. Sure, they're very similar. Eli Holstein definitely a little bit more agile outside the pocket. He can make guys miss with his legs. Where Kyle McCord, we've seen it a few times this year. Not saying he can't do it.
There was a play last week against NC State. I mean, it was a throw to Jackson Meeks. He evaded pressure. I said to myself, that is an NFL play right there. So he's capable of doing things like that.
Yes, he is, but Eli Holstein's game is built on it. Yeah. And Kyle McCord's, it simply isn't. And again, that's not an indictment on Kyle McCord. They have 2 different game styles. They're both really good. Look, Kyle McCord, more of a veteran guy. He's a senior. Eli Holstein, on the other hand, this guy's 19 years old, Milo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a freshman. There's a reason why he transferred from Alabama. I mean, this guy is legit.
He's atop the ACC, or he's 5th in the ACC, top 5 in passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, he's coming off the only game of the year where he didn't have a single passing touchdown.
Yeah.
He had 3 in every single game leading up to last week. He had 0 in last week. So maybe there's a little bit of a downward spiral coming. A freshman, sometimes you get a little lackadaisical as time goes on. Yeah. Not that veteran presence. Like Kyle McCord's been there. Kyle McCord's done that. Mm-hmm. Eli Holstein hasn't.
No, not at all. And we'll talk about this a little bit later in our slice of the game at the end of this segment right now. But I'll talk about that later. But Eli Holstein, not as good under pressure. He's top 10 in the country in touchdowns in the pocket. Outside the pocket, he's given up a lot of turnover opportunities. So you can kind of force Eli Holstein to make those quote-unquote rookie mistakes. Mm-hmm. And that's something that Kyle McCord isn't going to do as much.
Kyle McCord is bound to do a couple. There's a couple plays per game where you're like, that wasn't necessary, Kyle.
Yes,
you didn't have to do that. There's a couple interceptions this year. He was forcing into the end zone.
But when you throw the ball 60 times.
Yes.
What's going to happen?
But is that a good thing? Do we need Kyle McCord to throw the ball 60 times today? I don't think so.
I don't know either, but this Pittsburgh team isn't good at defending the pass. So
yes, but they are really good at getting pressure on the quarterback. They are top 5 in the ACC in sacks, and throughout this entire week, Syracuse, Fran Brown, Kyle McCord has been talking about the pressure, the defensive line. You heard it here on 97.7 throughout the week on the Kyle McCord Show. He's talking about that's the part of the game that he's scared of. Yes, it's the pressure. So do you want to be running the ball a lot? Or do you want to be passing the ball a lot?
It's because they send 7 guys every play. So there's a lot of blitzes. Kyle McCord has shown he's been able to handle the blitz well. Last week against NC State, or a couple weeks ago, against NC State, that's what the Wolfpack were doing the entire game.
Yeah.
They were sending the house. And Kyle McCord said, cool, calm, collected, step back foot over the middle. Jackson Meeks, Hatcher, Trevor Pena, all of those guys were getting open for him. And you know why they were getting open? Because they were one-on-oneing every single one of those guys because they're sending 6-7 guys at Kyle McCord every single time.
Yeah.
And what are Pitt going to do? If the film, shows what they're going to do today, it's that they're also going to send a lot of blitzes, but that hasn't been working.
No.
And Pitt has been giving up, they're fourth in the country, or they're the fourth worst in the ACC in passing yards allowed. So if you're Syracuse, you got to take advantage of that.
It's a very lopsided defense that the Panthers have. Yeah. So we talked about the run and we talked about the pass. I am going to kind of combine them, and this is something that I want to look out for tonight. It's something that Syracuse has been doing a lot.
Is this your slice of the game?
It's not my slice of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there. This is something that I think Syracuse needs to do a lot with pressure.
The preview slice of the game.
The preview slice of the game, exactly. For anyone anxiously waiting out there, this is your little appetizer. Okay, it's a little garlic knot that you get before the slice.
Okay, I like garlic.
You
knots.
like that? Oh, who should add that?
Put it in the marinara.
Well, garlic knot and then the slice.
All right,
anyways,
what is it?
I want Syracuse to get LaQuint Allen involved in the screen game tonight.
The screen game.
With all the pressure that's going to be coming from the Panthers, I need LaQuint Allen to be, maybe you stay on the line for a second, you line up in the backfield. You shove off a guy who's putting pressure, and then you pop out for a screen pass. That's what is great against the blitz.
Yeah.
When you think about a screenplay, you think about the other team bringing pressure, opening up some space 5 yards down the field, dump it off to LaQuint, and he's gone.
Yeah, and LaQuint Allen is really good at that. We've seen it this year.
He does it a lot.
Milo, I thought you were going to say give LaQuint Allen the ball more. I was like, oh, goodness, this is deja vu. Every single week.
It's a little different.
We've been saying that. I like the little wrinkle in your kind of key here. Mm-hmm. The screen game is the perfect thing to kind of counteract the blitz, and that's something Pitt will do all game long. So I like it, Milo. I think, any way to get LaQuint Allen the ball is a good way to get LaQuint Allen the ball.
It opens up the entire game. We've been saying it all year long. That was my garlic knot. But now for anyone anxiously waiting, we're going to go to the slice of the game. Now, unfortunately, without Alex,
we didn't want to,
who is our missing host today. Feel better, Alex. She's unfortunately sick. We had to sort of downgrade a little bit.
Just a little bit.
We got dining hall pizza.
Oh, goodness.
Now, for anyone out there that is, hating on dining hall pizza, I'm not that person. It's not bad. It does the job. So I get it. We're kind of grading it now because we have this pizza a little bit, Drew. Like, this is sort of like a nothing's good in the dining hall. We go get the pizza. Fine. It's a
for sure. Yeah, it's like an Aronde Gadsden type thing, It's a staple.
Okay, it's a staple.
Sometimes it disappoints you.
Okay,
but you never think it's gonna be awful.
It's never gonna be awful.
It's never gonna be awful.
But today it holds a lot of power. I'll tell you that. I'm going to hand it over to you first, Drew.
Okay.
What is your slice of the game for tonight's game against number 19, Pittsburgh?
So for my slice of the game, before I take a bite of this pizza, because I've been told, Milo, apparently that's an after thing where you eat the pizza after the slice of the game.
Ah,
right?
yes.
Got told that by you guys a couple weeks ago. My slice of the game is force Eli Holston to make mistakes by pressuring the quarterback.
Okay.
And there's a few different reasons I say that. Eli Holston's top 5 in the country in turnover-worthy plays. He's actually gone really lucky as far as putting the ball in the air. A lot of interceptions that should have happened were dropped. So Eli Holston, a little lucky, but a lot of those have happened outside of the pocket. And we know Holstein is great with his legs. It's the thing that makes him a unique quarterback. He's able to get outside. He's able to run for that first down, get into the end zone. But, Milo, outside of the pocket with his arm, he isn't very dangerous at all. He's actually been pretty bad.
He doesn't throw for a lot of yards. I will say that.
Well, because when he gets outside of the pocket, if he does throw the ball, which he rarely does, he usually tries to take it himself. When he does throw the ball, he makes a lot of mistakes. So what does Syracuse have to do? They got to send the house. Put it all at Eli Holstein. Make the rookie mess up.
And you can't talk about the pressure without talking about Fadil Diggs.
Yes. I was going to bring that up. I think, Fadil Diggs and King Joseph Edwards, they've been good. They're leading the team in sacks, but we need some other guys to step up too. You got Dennis Jacquez Jr., Isaiah Hastings. Those are a few guys that have had, not just mediocre, not good seasons to this point in the year. The Syracuse pressure has been really, really bad, and this is a game where it has to be good. And I'm not going to put it all on the defensive line. I also think it hasn't been a great game plan. Look, Syracuse usually uses a 4-2-5, which means you got 4 defensive line, you got two linebackers, and you got 5, a mixture of safeties and DBs. Yeah. I think this game, instead of sending that 6, you got to go 7 or 8. You got to kind of stack the box, and you have to force Eli Holstein to make mistakes. That's my slice of the game. Get Eli Holstein outside of the pocket, send the house, and he will make mistakes. That's how Syracuse wins this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good point. Now, I'm a little worried, though. If Eli Holstein gets out of the pocket, that's sort of what he likes to do as well.
But not with his arm.
He likes to run.
Not with his arm.
Yes, you got to contain him. You have to make sure he's not getting outside and he's able to run.
Maybe instead of having 2 high safeties, you bring one of those guys down, have him as like a roaming linebacker, make sure you kind of watch Eli Holstein, kind of mirror him almost, force him outside the pocket, and then you force Eli Holstein to make that big mistake, which he's done. And Cal, that's what they did in the second half, to stifle Holstein. Or to halt Holstein. That was kind of the alliteration we came up with last night. That's what they've done, and that's what worked for the Golden Bears. It's what's going to work for Syracuse, but will they do it in this game? I don't know. But Milo, there's obviously a few different keys to the game.
There's a lot.
Slices to the game. We can make a whole pizza.
Yeah, we need a pie.
We do. But Milo, what's yours?
So my slice of the game today, I'm going to go with the offensive line. Now, I'm going with the offensive line, but I'm not actually focusing specifically on the play of the offensive line. I want the offensive line to stay consistent in this game. Now, that is the play. That is the play of the offensive line. The offensive line needs to be stout. But I'm mainly saying that because, like we've been saying, the Pitt defensive line is one of their best parts of their game. They're going to be
only good part of the
getting
defense.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to be getting pressure on Kyle McCord. So the offensive line needs to give their Cuse quarterback at least a little bit of time to make one read, to maybe go to the second read. You know, he needs to be able to go through his progressions because I think Kyle McCord has been doing a great job of that this year.
For sure.
Kyle McCord has an excellent vision of the field, but if that is shattered tonight, the entire game plan is different. This is the best D-line that Syracuse has gone against this year so far. Now, the Pitt is top 5 in sacks in the ACC. So it's going to be a very, very big challenge. So the offensive line, I'm talking about guys like Demetrius Weatherspoon, Mark Petrie, Jacob Bradford, those guys that are really, really good on the offensive line and have been this year because we haven't been talking about them a lot.
No.
That's a good time. When you're talking about the offensive line, you don't want to talk about them a lot. So that needs to stay like that this year. They only allowed 2 sacks last week against NC State, which is pretty good. I'm looking, you got to allow less than 3 sacks this game.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, Milo.
Less than 3 sacks.
It's a good thing that we haven't been talking about the offensive line. Had they been excellent? No. Against NC State, they didn't look great. But once again, NC State was sending the house all game long. I think, Kyle McCord is like that Maserati you got in the garage, right? There's a reason.
Used to play with Maserati Marv.
That's true. That's true. It's a good point. There's a reason why you clear out the garage for him. Make sure the car goes in there. You got the car insurance.
Yeah.
You got to protect your valuable assets. You got the Prius outside. Leave it on the street. Who cares what happens to that old thing? That was kind of like last year with Mr. Garrett Schrader. Not trying to be that guy or anything. But Kyle McCord, you have to protect him.
Yeah.
He is, we talked about the passion of the team being LaQuint Allen. Well, the X factor, the most important guy, the guy that will get you to the promised land.
The captain of the ship.
It's Kyle McCord.
It's Kyle McCord. It's Syracuse versus Pitt. Number 19 Pitt tonight. It's game day. One of the biggest games for Syracuse football in recent memory. After this break, we're going to be talking about Syracuse basketball, though. The hoops are getting started. So on the other side of this break, we'll be going to the court on 97.7 ESPN Syracuse.
Cool, perfect.
Oh, that was good.
That was good, yeah. This pizza kind of sucks, guys. I'm not going to lie. I know we were just kind of gassing it up, but yeah, to be fair, it doesn't help it's very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milo, what do you think about this pizza?
I don't know. I think it's not great. I will say we just had some great sandwiches.
Yeah, in the media center,
from
Yala's.
From food.com.
Yala's, yeah.
That was great.
Is it collegefood.com anymore?
Oh, is it not?
I don't know.
I I don't know. That was a catchy name. I will say that. Food.com was a catchy name.
They rebranded this.
Yeah, they rebranded the entire thing. It looks completely different.
Yes. The food's better.
The food's definitely better. That was a good sandwich. That was like legit good.
No, yeah, I know. I agree with you. It's very good.
Like really good.
Yeah. Okay, we got basketball coming up.
Huge hoop season. We'll be getting back to football though. For anyone in Twitch, later in the show, still previewing this big game tonight. Yeah, exciting stuff. But basketball's underway.
Yeah.
I mean, we could skip ahead even. We could talk about the 2025 recruits. We'll mention that a little bit. But yeah, Syracuse hoops and Syracuse football, really, it's a great time to be. It's like an exciting time. It's almost like I kind of put this next to the Knicks recently. Only once in a while do you get to find and follow teams that are sort of up and coming.
Yeah.
And like it's exciting. It's different than a team that knows they're good, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's different when you're trying to prove everyone wrong. And that's sort of the case right now with Syracuse football and definitely with Syracuse basketball as well. So sort of that underdog mentality. And I think Fran Brown and Autry are great guys to sort of be leading that charge. I think they're both up for the task, and Fran Brown's been showing that this year. So
yeah,
no, it's a exciting time in the 315 for sure.
A huge game tonight. I mean,
hopefully 2 weeks from now we get some good pizza back.
Yeah,
We need to be back on the pizza grind. But yeah, if anyone's feeling anything about the game tonight, just let us know. It's going to be tough in Pittsburgh. I will say that's a big X factor. You're going to Pittsburgh, Acrisure Stadium. Watch my Jets play great there a couple days ago.
You know if it's Jaquan, Carlos?
Oh, we were talking about. I think it's Jaquan.
Okay.
That's one that we need to figure out for the year.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't play last year, obviously. But.
Actually, I would go Jaquan.
My goodness. Syracuse, if they lose today's game, Milo.
Yeah, that's
not
the thing.
to go back. I mean, the season all of a sudden it's kind of over for sure.
I don't know if it's over because you still got opportunities.
Yeah.
To make an impact, but it's like the win is so big and the loss is huge.
Yes,
But the loss isn't as monumental as the win. It's like it's been the opposite for Syracuse in a lot of other games. Actually, maybe I'll say that on the air. That's a good. I like that.
I mean, it's like pretty big either way. I mean, a loss pretty much puts you out of the playoffs. I don't know if people are expecting playoffs, but a loss pretty much puts you out of the playoffs.
It's all about what people expect. Like a lot of games for Syracuse, it's been like win and you don't move as much. Loss is detrimental.
It's Jaquan.
It's win. Yeah. For this one, it's win. It's monumental. Loss is huge. But
ESPN 97.7 and 100.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome into Q Sports Talk at 97.7 ESPN Syracuse. Milo Hoffman with Drew Alba. This hour of Newhouse Afternoon is powered by Drivers Village Cicero. Go to dvoffers.com for more info. Hoop season is almost upon us.
Yes, sir.
It is almost here. Syracuse has an exhibition game against Division II squad Clarion on Saturday. And some big news coming yesterday. Syracuse already looking ahead to that 2025 class. Luke Fennell, the Aussie, committing to Syracuse as a part of the class of 2025. The third class of 2025 recruit for SU, along with Sadiq White. And
Aaron Womack.
And Aaron Womack.
Yes.
3-star Aaron Womack. It's exciting.
It is. Aussie. Oi. You know, he's He's an Australian guy through and through. He won a gold medal not once but twice for the under-20 team in the Albert Schweitzer Games.
Wow.
Which is, what a name over there in Germany. But he's legit. I mean, he's a legit guy. When it came over to our feed yesterday, Milo, I know we kind of looked at each other like, who's this random Australian dude that Syracuse grabbed? No, this is not a random guy.
No.
I mean, Florida was looking at him, Louisville, Cal. This was a pretty touted prospect, highly touted prospect.
Yeah.
And, Fennell is going to surely be a pretty good piece for Syracuse. You can shoot the 3-ball, 6'6". He can kind of a combo guard. He can play the 1 or he can play the 2. And, playing the point guard position is something that Syracuse is going to need very soon. Because you obviously have Chance Westry. He's a redshirt sophomore, 6'6", but he plays more like a shooting guard. And then on the other side, you got Jaquan Carlos, 6 feet tall, senior, hasn't played a lot for Syracuse, but he's the other guy that kind of might be the point guard this year for the Orange. So, Milo, I want to start there. You got Jaquan Carlos and you got Chance Westry. How huge is kind of figuring out that point guard position for this year?
Yeah, I think you look at Syracuse this year, and obviously you lost Judah Mintz.
Huge.
I think J.J. Starling is going to be getting a lot of the ball handling this year.
Okay.
He's the captain of this team. J.J. Starling
is not a point guard.
He's not a point guard, but I still think he's going to be doing a lot of the ball handling, along with Donnie Freeman. Obviously Donnie Freeman's not going to be bringing the ball up, but I think you'll see some of J.J. Starling bringing the ball up this year.
Yes, I think so too.
He proved that he's a good distributor last year as well. J.J. Starling is a very, very even-keeled player, and that's what you want. And I think Autry really trusts him with the ball. So I think that you'll see J.J. Starling getting a lot of the rock early in the year at least, distributing, setting the plays, and just doing all of that fun stuff to get the offense going.
Yeah, and Milo, you talked about distributing. Well, J.J. Starling agrees with you. He was saying very similar things in sound number 7.
With me, like you said, I've been a versatile scorer. That's just been my game since high school. But now I'm really getting more into the playmaking role, facilitating, and then also buying in on the defensive end. I'm really honing in on using my length, my speed, and athleticism. So I just want to buy into that this season.
Oh, he's certainly going to buy in this season because Syracuse needs him to buy in on the defensive end. We need him to buy in on the playmaking side of the ball as well. J.J. Starling, like you said, Milo, he might not be the point guard for this team, but he is that guy for this team. Judah Mintz out, J.J. Starling in.
Yeah, and I look at this game on Saturday for Syracuse. You talk about J.J. Starling, but you talk about the whole squad. I need to see Syracuse shooting the 3-ball way better than they did last year. They were towards the bottom. They were towards the bottom of the ACC in 3-point percentage last year, just 33%.
Yeah.
So I need to see good looks from guys like J.J. Starling, from guys like Donnie Freeman, from everyone on this team. And then if there's not an open look, get the ball to your big man down low, Eddie Lampkin. You brought him over from Colorado for a reason. He is a bucket down low, so you got to utilize him. Syracuse didn't have this last year. As much as I like Malik Brown, as much as I like Nakeem McLeod, they weren't that offensive threat that Eddie Lampkin is to Syracuse this year. So look out for Eddie Lampkin to be a force. That is something that that's something that would set Syracuse apart from the rest of the teams that they're going to play, really.
Yeah, and Eddie Lampkin was, second in the Big 12 in offensive rebounds last year. He was averaging almost 3 a game.
Yeah.
So shoot the 3-ball. There's a good chance Lampkin will get you a second chance bucket.
Yeah, no,
so
Lampkin is
absolutely huge.
You see him walking around campus sometimes.
Yeah.
This guy's a big man. He's a big man.
Yes, yeah. I saw him the other day at Barnes just carrying a smoothie.
Yeah.
And that smoothie looked, let's just say, really, really small in his big hands. I'm not going to lie. But we talked about shooting the 3-ball. Chris Bell, ringing the bell, as we say, all of last year.
Yeah.
He was the staple for Syracuse as far as being able to shoot the 3-ball. Syracuse was 33% last year. Without Bell, they might have been hitting.
It would have been rough. It would have been near 20, near 25%, 24% probably, because Bell shot the most threes. So, you look at the guy that is an X factor for Syracuse, and that's what's so exciting about this team this year.
Yeah.
There are so many that you can look at and say, well, he's someone that can take over. If you're listening earlier this week on Q Sports Talk, Chris Bell, is sort of the takeover guy.
True.
He's the guy that you look at and he's like, okay, I'm going to take over this game now. I'm going to knock down 3-4 threes in a row, and that can change the outlook of an entire contest. So I look at Chris Bell as well. Yes, he's supposed to be mentioned in that group of players that is a leader on this team. He's been here for a little bit now, and he's someone that will knock down the three better than anyone on the Cuse.
Yeah, last year against Colgate, that's the game that really sticks out to me as Chris Bell's kind of huge game. Down by 20 in the second half, and Chris Bell goes absolutely berserk. The dome was rocking up here on the hill, and he's the guy that can really flip things on his head. So, Milo, obviously, this year, big expectations, but not necessarily the same expectations that we were getting from the football team. Is that because of last year's performance from the basketball team being kind of under par, or do you think it's because, Judah Mintz left? What's your thoughts overall as this team and kind of looking back from last year?
I look at Syracuse football from last year and Syracuse basketball from last year as kind of similar.
Okay.
I mean, look at Syracuse football. They got off to a hot start, and then it went down the drain. Syracuse basketball, on the other hand, was a little bit up and down, but the ups were upping. That win against NC State, that buzzer beater against Miami. So it was a very
North Carolina
inconsistent team. Okay, sorry, UNC, yes. I said NC State. Sorry, I meant North Carolina.
I think we lost twice against NC State, actually. We were pretty, I think so.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't know. I know DJ Burns is here, though. He went on to be a force in March Madness.
Yeah.
But I look at those teams as very similar. And I also look at these two teams this year as very similar. They got Syracuse football. They came to play. They have the biggest game of the year tonight against Pitt. Syracuse basketball, on the other hand, it's their year to do a similar thing. It's their year to be a statement team in the ACC. I know you got big players like Cooper Flagg on Duke. That is going to be a matchup for sure. Cooper Flagg's going to be the number one pick in the draft.
You put Eddie Lampkin out there on an island?
You put Eddie Lampkin out there on the island. I don't know about that. That might not end well. But I think it's a year of hope for Syracuse basketball, coming off a year last year where it was sort of disappointing, but not completely disappointing.
Yeah, not completely disappointing. And Coach Adrian Autry talks about how last year's team wasn't a complete disappointment and how he's able to build off that. Let's hear that.
I really was just thankful for the group of guys that we had last year, that team last year. Being one of the youngest teams in the country, playing in one of the toughest conferences in the country, and me being a first-year coach. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but that was a lot. It was a lot of first years, and I was very proud of the players and that team for my first year.
Yeah, talk about young team last year. This team this year, a little bit more experienced, but Donnie Freeman, just 19 years old. There's a lot of pressure on this guy's back.
It's a lot of pressure, but in a way, it's just so exciting to be witnessing Syracuse's biggest prospect in years. And it's almost like you get Donnie Freeman over here. Now everyone wants to come to Cuse. You got Kyan Anthony. Is he coming? You got Luke Fennell, who just committed yesterday. It is an exciting time, and no one should be more excited about watching Syracuse basketball for a specific player other than Donnie Freeman. 5-star recruit. He's a game changer, projected first-round pick in the NBA this year.
Yes, but the only thing that I kind of want to push back on a little bit, do I think Donnie Freeman's going to be great? Yes, but who dominates the college basketball landscape at this point in college basketball? It's not the freshmen. It's the fifth-year redshirt COVID guys and the Jack Golkes of the world that go in and beat Kentucky because they shoot 11
All right,
threes.
Golke had a big stretch in March Madness.
He had a big stretch the entire year.
Yes,
he was top 10 in 3 points for the country.
It was emphasized in March Madness. I don't think Golke
no, it was emphasized, sure, but Golke was doing that.
Yes, but overall,
people weren't watching it. People weren't watching it.
It's still the 5-star guys who are getting the most attention and are going to go out there and perform the best.
But are they, Milo? Because
they are.
Kentucky had a bunch of 5-star guys, but what were they? They were a young team that then, they played Jack Golke's squad. I'm blanking on the name right now, and they faltered.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, no, I mean
to a bunch of guys that could walk into Barnes and we might not know the difference.
You bring up a good point. But we're talking about Syracuse basketball now, and you can't be not excited. Like,
I am excited.
That's not even crossing my mind, the fact that, that's not how basketball is played now in college.
It's crossing my mind because we're going to put that much pressure on Donnie Freeman to carry this team. This is not Carmelo Anthony.
It's not just Donnie Freeman. You got J.J. Starling. You got Chris Bell. You bring over Eddie Lampkin. You have all these.
I
Lucas
totally agree.
Taylor.
Those three guys, Eddie Lampkin, Chris Bell, and J.J. Starling, are going to mean more to this year's team than Donnie Freeman. I'm not saying that Syracuse isn't going to have a great shot this year to maybe potentially make a March Madness run even.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't want the entire, I don't want the 315 to get on Donnie Freeman's back and say, why is he averaging 7 points a game? No. What's happening to Freeman? He's a 5-star.
I agree.
He's playing with guys who are 24 years old. He's 19.
I agree, but Drew,
he was playing
that's what
IMG
comes with
last
being
year.
a 5-star recruit.
I get
That's
it.
what Carmelo Anthony dealt with. That's what Zion Williamson dealt with.
It's a different year. Carmelo Anthony was playing against other guys who were 20, 21, 19 years old. The average age for college basketball, the guys that really make a push are those 4-year transfers that go from, Hodunk, Indiana, that transfer to, it's true though.
Yeah.
They
you bring up a good point. I love that part about college basketball.
Yes.
I love the fact that it's the vets that are getting the attention.
Like
now.
Eddie Lampkin.
Yeah.
He transfers from Colorado over to Syracuse. He's going to make a big difference.
And that's why it's huge that you got players like that for Donnie Freeman to rely on. We're going to go into a quick break, though. On the other side, we're talking World Series because how could we not? We'll get back to football in the last segment of the show, but it's Yankees-Dodgers, most hyped up World Series in years on 97.7 ESPN Syracuse. We'll see you after the break.
This is Orange Nation.
Coach, and Paulie brought up.
All right. Me? Let's go. We got some support off the camera from the only Big Burr, AB.
And Griffin Bloomstein, who has a show on Newhouse Afternoon.
Yeah. You want to shout out your show, Griffin? What's your
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, we got to talk about Yanks, and
I'm gonna let you carry this Yanks segment. Obviously, I'll put my input in, but I can kind of guide you through segment 3.
okay.
I have nothing.
Yeah,
Judge
we
a
don't need
storylines.
anything.
So when do you want to get out of this segment by?
We're gonna be back by like 40. Let's get back by like
2:48. Get out at 2:48.
No, because then we're gonna have 1 minute.
When do we have to get out?
We end at 55:40.
Oh,
This is gonna be a short segment. This is gonna be like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, we don't.
This
end
is a
at,
5
We
minute
don't actually
segment.
end at 3.
No.
Yeah,
This is a
you're
5-minute segment.
If
5
that.
minutes. I think we're getting back. We go back 45. Oh shoot.
When do we get back?
This might be like.
When do we get back?
We get back at like 40.
Okay. Sorry for the Twitch audience. This is a little behind the scenes of.
Yes. Oh, this is.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Yeah, like 4 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's do 4 minutes. That's good. It'll be fast. Just under 3 total back. Okay. Do you know? Okay. Yeah. Just under 3. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. That's what I was okay. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So we'll do this for 4 minutes. Then we'll come back. Predictions. Leave off on Syracuse.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. I think
The
we've done
game
this.
is on this.
It's on ESPN Syracuse. Yeah. You want to double check with Jordan? Jordan, the game is it is on ESPN Syracuse tonight, correct? I want to make sure we don't plug that in. Like I'm like 99% sure, but
Oh, we got Snoop G-Man, Dodgers winning it all in Twitch.
wow, Snoop G-Man.
And this random guy named Griffin Bloom 33 says he agrees. I don't know who that guy is, but
The thing that I hate about the Twitch audience sometimes, which I love the Twitch audience,
Yeah.
okay, I want to preface that. It's the people who just put their opinions in without any reasoning behind it.
Well,
you
you
know?
expect someone to write a paragraph on Twitch?
No, I need and I agree, and then I need a this is why, It's like a cast type thing. You can't say Syracuse is going to win the game without saying why Syracuse is going to win the game.
No, I agree, but
whoever
like,
this G Bloom guy is, I agree thinks a little, I don't know.
It's also just it's like a talking point too. It's an add-on to the show. Like, I agree. Oh, why do you agree? Like, then we'll talk about it.
I get it. But like,
I agree though. I agree with. Yeah, it's a lot of I agree.
Oh, you agree with?
I agree with you.
Oh, Milo agrees with the Dodgers winning it.
Ooh, we got a lot of action. Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6. Yeah, I like Dodgers in 7. Okay, wait, I don't want to spoil my prediction for the.
Yeah, don't spoil.
You want to do World Series predictions to end this block? I think so.
Yeah, let's do World Series predictions.
Do you want me to open this block up?
Sure.
No, you do it. Just keep it. Keep it. Okay, toss it to me. Then I'll quickly talk about how big the matchup it is, and I'll toss it back to you.
Okay.
And then you can say your piece for like a minute. You go off on a monologue. I'll say something really quick, and then predictions, and we're out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Oh shoot! I just realized this has been like that all week ago.
For all the Twitch audience out there, we got a couple more blocks for you guys. We got Dodgers, Yanks, and then we're finishing with football predictions.
Such a great sports time.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
We're back on QSportsTalk.com and 97.7 ESPN Syracuse. Milo Hoffman here with Drew Alba. World Series. It is here tomorrow, Drew. It's one of the most hyped up World Series in years.
Yeah.
Really. It's LA. It's New York. West Coast. East Coast. Boom, boom. I can keep going. What do you got?
No, yeah, the last time a World Series was this hyped up was back in 2016. The Cubs, obviously just because they were breaking their streak. They win it that year. Since then, though, this has been the most exciting postseason in recent memory.
It's been a lot of moments.
And it has to be capped off with Yankees versus Dodgers. There's no other way to go about it. Milo, all 7 games sold out. Ticket prices are averaging upwards of $1,500.
That's insane.
If you want to try to get into the door, you gotta sell your right. You gotta sell your right leg to get in there,
dude.
And for a good reason, Milo. You're a Yankee fan. How excited are you? Are you a little nervous? You gotta be a little bit against this Dodgers team.
The nerves are starting to kick in. I think tomorrow before the game, it's gonna be like, okay, it's happening. It's Yankees Dodgers right now. We are finally in the World Series for the first time since 2009, and boy, it's exciting. And boy, the Yankees have to win. Because at the end of the day, you made it to the World Series. If you don't win, it all goes down the chute because it is the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees have to win. That's what the New York Yankees do, and it is a tough matchup against the Dodgers. You look at that lineup. You got Mookie Betts. You got Shohei Ohtani. Freddie Freeman's a little banged up. It's still Freddie Freeman. I look at a guy like Teoscar Hernandez. This is a bona fide Yankee killer. Teoscar Hernandez has tortured the Yankees. So really, there's always that one guy that you pick on from the other team when you go into a series. As a Mariner fan, series are sort of like a foreign thought. But
okay, thanks, Milo. Appreciate that.
But you look at Teoscar Hernandez. He is someone that I'm very nervous about. But it's Judge versus Ohtani. First time the 2 home run leaders in each league are going against each other in the World Series. I say Judge goes off for 4 homers in this series.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that, and then you started to take jab at my Mariners, so I'm going to say Judge is going to hit, sub 200 this series.
No.
And quite frankly, Mile, that's probably the more realistic thing to think. Because what have we seen from Aaron Judge? That he's been bad in the postseason.
Yeah, no, he's been bad. He's been bad.
Someone that's good, though. Giancarlo Stanton, that's a guy.
Exactly. And you got Stanton going. You got Soto going.
Yeah.
You got Volpe going. And if you add in your best player, it is a dangerous time. It's spooky hour for anyone else out there for the Dodgers because it's Halloween coming up.
Okay.
So
I get the reference. I saw where you were going there.
Yeah.
The execution a
if
little
Judge
wacky,
gets going, it is a scary time. It's scary hours
That's
coming
true.
up.
That's true. If you get Soto, Giancarlo, and Judge all working as like a little trio, it's going to be tough. But other than that, I think the Dodgers are going to be favored. They are favored to win this. I'm going to agree with that. I think the Dodgers, they win in 7, and they're going to go. They're going to go back to LA. Look, do I think the Yankees have no chance? Absolutely not.
I mean, they win in 7. Of course,
they're
they have
the
a chance.
Yankees. But I do have the Dodgers barely squeaking one out, and one of the best World Series matchups ever. I mean, I don't think that's unfair to say.
It's the most common World Series matchup ever.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with my prediction. I'm going Yankees in 7. I mean, how could I choose against the Yankees? And I think it's a realistic answer. It is not a stupid call to pick the Yankees to win this series in 7. Now, I know some people that are saying, like, there's someone that I was talking to, Yankees win in 5. That is not happening.
No.
The Yankees are not winning in 5. And also, the
Dodgers could win in 5. I could see that.
No,
yes,
I can't see that either.
Because LA, they could go up 2 games to nothing. They win both games in LA. They go over to the Bronx. They win 2 of those 3. You're in, you're out. Tomato. See you later.
But the Yankees have to be favored tomorrow with Garrett Cole on the hill over Jack Flaherty.
I mean, have to.
And anything can happen.
Garrett Cole didn't look great his last time up.
No, it's true. You got to take at least 1.
Yeah.
So definitely not Yankees in 5. I'm going Yankees in 7. Wow, I'm excited. And really for the neutral fan, everyone should be excited. This is what baseball's wanted.
Last question, Milo. You got more butterflies in your stomach, or are you more excited? What's the feeling?
Right now, I'm more excited. Tomorrow, I think it's going to be like
the butterflies are going to start to flying out of your mouth. Okay.
It's going to start. Yeah, they're going to be everywhere. It's going to be a nervy time for me, for all the Yankees fans out there. We're going to go ahead and take another break, but on the other side, we're previewing Syracuse football versus number 19 Pitt again. Had to talk about it one more time. The biggest game of the year so far. So after this break, we're going to be talking all about the gridiron for Cute. Stay with us on 97.7 ESPN Syracuse.
All right. That was good. That was like a good length of segment for what we had. I wish we were able to go a little more on it, but we had to do what we got to do. All right. Do you know how you're going to get out of this segment? Like, who's doing it tomorrow? Do you want to do like what Alex did last week? Or
I'm just going to preview the game.
Yeah. Really hype it up.
Yeah.
Really hype it up. You give your prediction first. Then I'll give my prediction, and then you can close this out. Mm-hmm. We don't have to do our predictions right out of the gate, though.
No, yeah.
All right, Milo, we have a few minutes for our Twitch audience. They were talking about the Dodgers and Yankees a lot. So, Milo, my question...
The goat of baseball already.
Wait, we can talk about that. I had a different question for you, but we can talk about that.
What was the different question, though? I'm curious.
I think, do you think the pitching is more important, or do you think the hitting is for the Yankees? You know, if you had to pick one unit to be excellent this World Series, which one are you picking?
I think I'm picking...
I know what I'm picking.
I think I'm picking the hitting and specifically the bottom half of the lineup for the Yankees. Because Anthony Volpe hitting like he has so far this postseason is huge.
Yeah.
Now, if guys like that start to fall off, if Verdugo is an automatic out, if Rizzo is an automatic out, if Volpe's an automatic out, if Jazz Chisholm is an automatic out, Austin Wells, that's when it gets really tough. Because the difference for the Yankees offense in series passes this postseason has been the fact that the lineup's been flipping over with guys on. You get Soto and Judge up with runners on, and Gleyber Torres, my God, he's been amazing. So you got to keep flipping the lineup over with guys on. That's when the Yankees are the most dangerous.
Yeah. You guys got so many killers in that lineup, and you really do. You were just listing it out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about if the Mariners had even like Anthony Rizzo, he would be hitting top 4 in our lineup.
Yeah.
And you're like, if Rizzo's an automatic out, if Jazz Chisholm's like, bro, Jazz would be the leadoff hitter for 90% of the league right now.
Yeah, no.
And you're just throwing Jazz in here like he's chopped cheese. I don't know.
Chopped liver.
Chopped liver. Yeah. Chopped liver, chopped cheese. Chopped cheese could work because it's like a deli.
Yeah.
You got it.
You kind of have a chopped cheese today. A little Philly cheesesteak, actually.
It was a cheesesteak. Chopped cheese has like the tomatoes and everything. Like they have the burger toppings.
Yeah.
Cheesesteak is just the cheese and the meat.
Yeah.
The onions. But you know what I'm trying to say?
That's just getting distracted over here.
Yeah.
I need the and the pitching obviously has to be good. Like pitching is huge. I really want the starters to go more like at least 5 innings in each game too. I know that's kind of like that's not it's not gonna happen because that's just how baseball is now. Like you got guys like Clark Schmidt who's probably just gonna go 4 2/3.
Especially in the World Series.
Especially in the World Series.
In the World Series, he goes if Schmidt goes out there. If freaking Garrett Cole goes out there and he looks rocky in the first inning, gives up 3 runs, Boone might go in there in the second inning and pull him.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, there's no room for error in the World Series.
Yeah, no.
The World Series. Crazy. You got to put everything on the line.
The bullpen can't be extremely taxed, too. Like
no, but you got extra guys. You got extra guys in the bullpen.
You do. Nestor Cortez pitching is going to be big for the Yankees. He says he's going to come. He's risking his career. He's risking. Yeah. He's risking his future. He's on a contract a year.
I know.
Nestor Cortez said a World Series ring is worth a year off from baseball.
True.
That's what he said.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with him. Okay, really quick, Mal. We got like 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
Game by game predictions. Yankees winning 7. How does that happen?
I'm going Yankees game 1, Dodgers game 2.
Okay, you're split 1-1. Okay,
Split
now you
1-1.
go back to the Bronx Monday.
I go Yankees game 3.
Yankees game 3 Tuesday.
Yes.
2-1 Yanks.
And then I go Dodgers game 4.
Okay, so you flip-flop.
I
so you go
flip-flop.
Yankees, Dodgers,
Yes.
2-2. You're going one
Then
more
I
game
go
in the Bronx.
Dodgers take a 3-2 lead.
Dodgers take a 3-2 lead.
And then Yankees tied up game 7 in LA. So I think the Yankees go into LA and take game 6 to 4-7.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't see that way. All right. Bring the energy, kid.
Yeah.
.7 and 100.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back into the Sports Media Center here at the Newhouse School. Milo Hoffman with Drew Alba on 97.7 ESPN Syracuse. It's SU versus Pitt. Number 19 Pitt tonight. Like I've been saying, it's the biggest game of the year so far. If Syracuse wins, Syracuse is ranked. So it needs to be emphasized, and that needs to be communicated in the locker room for the Orange. Fran Brown needs to go in Pittsburgh, and he needs to say, this is it, guys. This is what's going to set us apart from the other teams. This is how our season gets boosted up into a can we make the playoffs situation. If you lose, all of that goes down the drain again. It's almost like a Stanford loss. So Syracuse football needs to know what's at stake. It's Thursday night. You're one of the only games on TV. It's definitely the best game on TV. So you got to come to play.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely huge, Milo. We're just, a little over 3 hours away from kickoff. 7:30. A little over 4 hours, excuse me, I should say. I'm like a kid on Christmas right now. I can't fall asleep. I'm waiting for Santa Claus to come down. I keep checking my metaphorical watch because I don't have a watch, and I keep saying, when is it going to be Syracuse versus Pitt? Syracuse versus Pitt, because this is such a huge game. I am so excited. Milo, this is massive as far as Syracuse winning. They're in the top 25.
Yeah.
But we've talked about the implications of them winning. If they lose, Syracuse's season, it's obviously not over, but from a winning at all perspective, it pretty much is.
It's hard to say it's over, like when you lose to a ranked team, when you lose to a team
but it is over
that's better
as
than
far as winning the whole thing, which is every team's end-term goal.
And let me tell you why. Because the feeling around Syracuse football is different this year. Syracuse football thinks they can win this game. The fans think Syracuse football can win this game, and that's what's so great about the Orange this year. I'm going to go into my prediction. I think Syracuse takes it 28-24 down at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. I think Kyle McCord goes out there. He throws for another 300-yard game, and I think that everyone comes to play just enough. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think it's going to be a beautiful spectacle to watch. But I think LaQuint Allen is going to be a beast on the ground. Aronde Gatson is going to be getting involved. And the O-line, like I said, is going to do just enough to keep this dangerous Pitt D-line out of the backfield.
Okay, Molly, you got Syracuse winning this game. I got a blowout on our hands in Pittsburgh. 31-14. And who do you think I'm going to pick? 31-14, right from this point.
Syracuse.
It's going to be the Orange, baby.
The offense.
They're going into Pitt. First win at Acrisure Stadium since 2001, and they're going to absolutely wipe the floor of the Pitt Panthers.
Wow.
This game is not going to be close because Pitt is overrated as heck right now. They're the number 19 team in the nation. They should be outside the top 50, Milo. Against Power 4 teams this year, they've looked not just average. They've looked bad. They've escaped with a win every single game. Eli Holstein, he's good, yes, but he's even a little overrated too. He's a freshman. He makes a lot of mistakes. He should have way more turnovers this year than he has actually. Syracuse is going to force Eli Holstein to make mistakes. Cal McCord is going to show why he's the senior, he's the veteran, and he's going to be the reason Syracuse goes into Pitt, will absolutely wipe the floor on the Panthers. They're going to go into the top 25. Syracuse's ACC, final appearance is still going to be well and off. It's going to be fun, and I think Syracuse is going to show the entire country why they are a legit top 25 team.
Yeah.
Pitt, they lose this game, and they're going to fall into the pit of irrelevance.
Oh,
Get that pit.
I
into
like
the pit
that.
of
That's another
irrelevance.
thing.
Yeah.
Like I said a little bit earlier, you just mentioned it's the biggest game of the night. So all eyes are going to be on Syracuse and Pitt. It's ESPN. What else could you ask for?
Yeah.
So the last time Syracuse played on a weekday night, it didn't go well.
No.
Friday night against Stanford.
Which helps us out in this one because you can't make the same mistake twice.
But Syracuse is also coming off a bye, which they also did against Stanford. They lost that game.
Milo, you can't make the same mistake
I'm
twice.
going to keep throwing the baseballs at you.
Double bye.
I have Syracuse, though, winning this one. Everyone should be excited. Everyone should be tuning in wherever you are because it's do or die, really. It's go time. It's what this entire year has been leading up to. It's what you brought Kyle McCord over for.
Yeah.
It's what you brought Fran Brown over for. It's what Ronnie Gadsden is going to bring to the team.
Yes.
It's what Trevor Pena. It's got to be a culmination of everyone. And I'm going to say it again, back to the X's and O's. Syracuse has to keep the D-line out of the backfield because if the Panthers wreak havoc, it's going to blow up the entire game plan for Syracuse. Give LaQuinn Allen some screenplays.
Yeah, Milo, we've been talking about the X's and O's, but my favorite letter is a W. Syracuse, they're going to take it.
Yeah, I think that was clear. I think that was really clear. We're going to be right back on Q Sports Talk. Stay tuned for the game later. It's Drew and Milo saying so long.